one time for the special meeting for the consent agenda item.
Yeah.
I read over it today, but
Yeah.
to read about the office that's first.
There we had to do on it, but.
Yeah, same thing. But the whole board's expired.
It is? Oh, yeah.
That makes me
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. It's 5:02. Mayor Shuey and Commissioner Ezell are absent this evening. So we will begin with our invocation. Brad Mendenhall is going to do our invocation, and Chief O'Rourke, will you do the flag salute?
Let's bow in prayer. Heavenly Father, we pause for this brief moment just to recognize your lordship and thank you for watching over us, Lord God. And Father, we do ask that you continue to shine your light brightly over this community, Lord God. And Father, I thank you for these leaders that have assembled together here tonight, Lord. And Father, we do pray for them to walk in the wisdom that you have, Lord God. Father, we recognize that you're the giver of all good things. Lord, we thank you for this great community that we are here to live in, and we just ask that you help us to steward it well, Lord God. So, Father, we just ask that you speak to each heart here tonight that needs spoken to, Lord God. And, Father, just lead and guide and direct us in your blessings. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, consider approval of minutes of the regular meeting. Oh, sorry. I had myself. Yeah, consider approval of minutes of the special commission meetings of May 4th, 2017 and May 9th, 2017, and the regular commission meeting of June 6th, 2017.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ron, second by Jonathan. Let's vote. Passes 5-0. Okay, item 5, awards, presentations, proclamations, and organizational business. Do we have any?
I think Chief O'Rourke's got the pet. Chief, you got the pet?
No, he's back there.
Oh, okay.
Fine-looking animal.
Okay, so then,
I'm one away from 30.
so present the pet available for adoption at the city animal shelter.
Dean Robertson with Enid Animal Control. What I brought here tonight is about a 3-month-old mixed German Shepherd female. We haven't named her yet, but she becomes available first thing in the morning. Our coordinator will be back, and I'm sure she will give her a good name. But she's up for adoption. Come on out and pick her up tomorrow. She needs a good home. We have a lot of animals out there. A lot of them's been going, so let's keep the trend going.
That's a good one.
We need a city dog.
Yeah. Good idea.
Okay, next we're going to consider appointments to the Public Arts Commission of Enid. We have 6 vacancies. 2 of the people on the application want to be put back on. They are incumbents, and then so we need to vote on 6 of the spots for the Public Arts Commission. If anybody's here and would like to speak, I know I saw Lindy. Would you like to say anything? Okay. Is anybody else here that applied to be on the Public Arts Commission that wants to speak? Okay, then go ahead and vote for 6. The incumbents are Mike Clemmy and Lindy Funk, and they would both like to remain on the board. Megan Conradi, Merlin Haynes, Michael Shuck, Carolyn Poplin, and Marcy Jarrett are the other people that would like to be considered. So vote on 6. Item 6 is hearings. There are none. Item 7 is community development. There is none. We will move on to administration, and then we will look at the votes in just a little bit. 8.1, consider a resolution amending the 2016-2017 general fund budget by appropriating additional funds to increase the 2016-2017 appropriated amounts for the general fund sales tax transfers department in the amount of $2,084,315. Does anybody want to talk about that or
Yes.
explain that?
Go ahead, Aaron.
Oh, sorry.
Good evening, Commissioners. This evening, we have an appropriation to account for the cost sales tax funds that were received during this current year. When we approved the budget for the current year, that sales tax was not in place, and now the appropriation needs to be made so that we can transfer the funds over to the Enid Municipal Authority as required by that vote. This is
Motion
the
to
amount.
approve. Second.
Motion by Ron, second by George. All in favor, please vote, or let's just vote whether you're in favor or not. Sorry. Passes 5-0. Okay, 8.2, consider a resolution amending the 2016-2017 airport fund budget by appropriating additional funds in the amount of $100,000 to increase the 2016-2017 appropriated amounts for the airport department.
Yes, this item is associated with the 1735 runway extension that we did. The project started back in September of 2014 for the airport, and they have excess funds once they've received back everything from the grant. EMA originally fronted over $2 million for this project. This is the excess funds that are available to send back to EMA, which would be prudent to do at this time.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Jonathan, second by George. Please vote. Passes 5-0. Item 8.3, consider an agreement with the Oklahoma Department of Transportation, ODOT, for the roadway, traffic signals, and trail improvement project at the intersection of Cleveland Street and Chestnut Avenue. Project number R-1311A, JP number 1702005, and authorize payment of the local share of the project in the amount of $1,143,397. Robert?
Thank you, Commissioners. This is an agreement with the Department of Transportation for the improvement of the Cleveland Chestnut intersection. It provides for improving the intersection and the approaches with 5 lanes of pavement to the north and south, and signalization and storm drainage work associated with carrying water through that project. The utilities have been relocated, right-of-way has been acquired, and upon approval of this agreement with ODOT, we would pay in our share of the funds as listed here. And ODOT has this project anticipated for placing out or for taking bids in October or November of this year. That would place, anticipate construction would start sometime after the completion of the Willow Road project.
Motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by George, second by Jonathan. Please vote. Passes 5-0. Okay, number 8.4, consider a variance to allow for an 8-inch water line extension for Warren Power and Machinery, Inc. of Midland, Texas on North State Highway US 81, project number W-1713A.
Thank you again, Commissioners. This is a proposal by Warren Power and Machinery to extend a water line to their facilities on US 81, about a half-mile north of Phillips Road, where the existing water line exists. They are certainly looking at using the capital recovery ordinance to allow them to recover any additional costs from future users in that area. The ordinance now requires only it's appropriate for 10-inch water lines. This is presented to allow the ordinance to apply to an 8-inch water line extension, which is determined to be adequate to serve these limited users in this area.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion by Jonathan, second by Derwin. Please vote. Motion passes 5-0. 8.5, approve and execute a collective bargaining agreement between the City of Enid and the Enid Garfield County Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge Number 144. Chief O'Rourke.
Commissioners, after negotiations with the FOP Lodge 144, we came to a conclusion last month. It was put off until today at my request. We changed very little in the contract itself. This contract's been in place since like 1999, so it's just been tweaked, basically. We did make a change to Article 16 in uniforms, whereas before we were paying $300 a year for uniforms for the officers. We're now setting up, and technology's great, through Galls, which is a uniform company and police equipment supply company. They can log on to a private website that's dedicated to them and purchase restricted items that we restrict on what they use their money for, which is going to be a really great deal for us. It makes sure that they are buying uniforms, and it also gives us consistency in the uniforms that they're buying. So different brands, different colors, things like that. So it's a good deal for the officers, and it's a good deal for the city. And compensation, in Article 27, the pay plan is the only thing that's left intact. There's nothing else on top of that. The pay plan is a 13-step plan, and some people are topped out of it that have been here a long time, and then some people that are brand new will not get a step on the front side. So I think you told me it's 77, it may be a little bit less than that are affected by it. The total amount of the compensation package is about $150,000. So, and that ensures that the officers that have been here a few years are still moving upward. And on physical fitness, we have physical fitness, mandatory participation in physical fitness. And there's an incentive there. We changed the way that's scored. It used to be if you pass 3 of the events out of the 4, you get 2 days off or 2 days pay, or if you pass all of them, it's 3 days. Doing it on a point system, which I think makes it a little bit more competitive, and it's going to get more people to participate or try harder. So, and that's the only 3 changes.
Chief, on the uniforms, you said that they were going to order their own from the website from whatever uniforms are allowed by the city. That way to be consistent. Is there a limit? Like, does each officer get a $300 a year clothing allowance, or is there any review for that?
That's what it's going to be. They're going to be allowed on that website $300 credit.
Good.
And they can buy specific uniform pieces.
Okay.
We're going to go with one specific uniform brand because right now we have about 3 different kinds of shirts or 3 different colors, so I'm going for consistency.
Having worn a uniform
Anything
for a
that-
while, I appreciate that.
It's going to make it very simple for the officers. And anything over $300 that they want to spend, it's going to ask for their personal credit card.
Okay, thank you.
$300. Then they'll bill us at the end of the calendar year, and it's a use or lose deal. They have to do it by December 31st, or they don't get it.
Okay.
So it makes it simple.
And Chief, this plan has been approved by the FOP too? They've approved it?
Yes.
Okay.
It was my idea, and they liked it.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Okay, motion by Ron, second by George. Please vote. Passes 5-0. Okay, number 9, consent items.
Here comes the votes if you want.
Oh, here we'll read the votes for the art board. Okay. Okay, our new Public Arts Commission Board consists of Lindy Funk, Mike Clemmy, Marcy Jarrett, Carolyn Poplin, Michael Shuck, Megan Conrady. I need to go through and,
I think you're supposed to read off.
do I have to read it all off? Okay, how do,
I think you
this
can
is
just
really kind of
read.
confusing. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, Conrady received votes from Jansen, Norwood, Waddell, Pankinen. Funk received votes from Jansen, Norwood, Waddell, Wilson, Pankinen. Merlin Haynes received votes from Norwood, Waddell, and Wilson. Marcy Jarrett received votes from Jansen, Norwood, Waddell, Wilson, Pankinen. Mike Clemmy received votes from Jansen, Norwood, Waddell, Wilson, and Pankinen. Carolyn Poplin, Jansen, Waddell, Wilson, and Pankinen. And Michael Shuck, Jansen, Norwood, Wilson, Pankinen. So congratulations to our new Public Arts Commission. If you did not make it onto the Public Arts Commission, I would like to let you know that I know Creative Arts Enid is also looking for board members. So if it's your desire to participate in our art community, that would be another great route to go. That's my plug for that board.
And we'll be having a special meeting soon, right?
Yes, we will, yes, now that we have our board put back together, because everybody expired at the same time on that board, it was kind of weird. So, yeah, we will be setting up a special meeting soon for that. Okay, number 9, we have consent items.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the consent items.
Okay, second?
Motion by Ron, second by George. Please vote. Passes 5-0. Number 10, we will recess to convene as the Enid Municipal Authority. Trustees of the Enid Municipal Authority special meeting are here, absent Mayor Shuey and Benazell. 11, let's see, that was 11. 12, Enid Municipal Authority special meeting is in order. Approval of claims in the amount of $725,876.21.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by George, second by Derwin. Please vote. Passes 5-0. Number 13, we will adjourn to convene as the Enid Economic Development Authority. 14, trustees of the Enid Economic Development Authority regular meeting, absent Mayor Shuey and Benazell. 15, Enid Economic Development Authority regular meeting is in order. 15.1, consider approval of preliminary plans and specifications for the downtown hotel per the master development agreement.
Yeah, and I'll just kick it off just briefly. As commissioners, as you know, you signed a master development agreement with Enid BWP LLC back in February, and progress is being made. In fact, to the point that we brought the 30% plans here for you tonight. So there's several people in the audience that I would like to speak to this because they've worked very hard on this, as you have, and city staff has, and it's, as the mayor would say, we think it's another great day. More great days to come. So Chris Burdick, I know you're the engineer, you're representing the developer and architect tonight too. If you would speak first, I know Whitney Hall, you're here from the Main Street Design Committee. Kelly, you're here as the Main Street Director, and Lisa Powell, appreciate all the efforts of VRDA. So, and then Cheryl Denny is here as well. So I'd like you to hear from all of them, and we do have the plans we can pull up. Dana, if you can pull them up, and you have a plan in front of you as well. A big blown up the layout. I have the big blown up layout like this.
Okay. Well, good evening, Commissioners and City Manager. My name is Chris Burdick. I'm with Envirotech Engineering here in Enid. We're representing the owner, Dr. Atul Patel, as well as the architect. And I don't know, the site plan as it sets today, you can see there's the main entrance is off from Main Street with a kind of a semicircle entrance with a porte-cochere out front. There'll also be ADA parking as well as general parking to the east of that, which would incorporate a one-way drive in there that would tie back into the parking lot along the east side of the property. We'll have entrance and exit points both on Grand and Independence on the east and west side. And the back drive, which is kind of existing today with the event center, will be continued and tie back into the loading area of the event center so that we get better traffic flow with tractor trailers for events and those kind of things. Now they have to, I believe, come down Independence and wiggle around and get back in there. So the traffic flow of the site plan was kind of set to handle event traffic, and as well, obviously, as the hotel traffic. The hotel itself consists, the back knockout piece there is an indoor pool. It also has, I believe it's in the northwest corner of the building. It has
Yes, you can use that, that top button on that. You might, if you show them on that, you might be able to, yeah.
This is the pool area here. To kind of go back, this is kind of the porte-cochere entranceway. This was the one-way parking that I spoke about that ties back into general parking with an entrance exit here on Independence, as well as the existing drive. We will widen that a little bit for truck traffic on Grand. And this is the piece I was talking about that will tie back into the truck dock. I think today they have to pull in here and back in, and they'll be able to come in here and pull through and then back in to alleviate some of that congestion out on Independence. This is the pool area I talked about. Inside the building this is a bar area / breakfast area. Converts, I think, during the day. Don't quote me on that. I'm not the architect, but I'm pretty sure that's the way they handle that. This is the main entrance. Obviously, we'll have entrance and exits at both ends, as well as the pool area, so there'll be gained access over to the event center during events and so on and so forth.
Excuse me, there's going to be one entrance and exit on each side there, one on Grand and one on Independence, is that correct?
Yes, there'll be an in and out exit here and an in and out exit here.
And then in the front, there'll be the entrance there.
This will be the porte-cochere area where you would come to check into the hotel.
Right.
As well as park over here if it's available. If not, you'd continue around to
But
park.
you can't exit from the front.
You can exit right here. You can get back out on Main and come around to this, or you could make this turn into this parking here. But yeah, you would enter here and exit here, per se. Could enter and go that way, but most people will enter. This is a little bit narrower driveway to influence people to come make this right-hand turn and come in. It's a 24-foot driveway, so it's wide enough to get double cars going by each other, two-way traffic. That could be handled in that way. If there's any questions, I think we talked about the building itself, and do you want to go to those elevations and
Yeah, can you pull up the 30% slides, Dana, please? Commissioners, you also have this in your packet on your iPads. I think there's 17 slides.
Yeah, probably towards the back, Dana, to like A14 or A401, I'm sorry.
So probably the page 16 or something?
Yeah, probably back at 15 or 16.
You can advance those.
Yeah.
It's the right-hand button, yeah. There.
Okay, so here's an elevation view of the hotel itself. And I can't read up there, but the top view is the south elevation, looking from the event center. The bottom view is the front of the hotel, which would be right here. This is the cantilevered porte-cochere area. The light colored material is a light gray brick. The darker gray material is a dark gray brick. And then the blue material is aluminum panels, which is kind of the hotel's theme, or it's kind of their color scheme. And then, of course, the east and west views. This would be the entrance off from Main, and this would be the pool area adjacent to the event center.
Do you have any idea when the design will be completed?
The hotel, my understanding is that the hotel brand has approved the 30% plans, which will push for final 90% at least, and I think we've spoke in the August timeframe.
Yeah, the architect told me he thought that once he gets the go-ahead from Dr. Patul, that he thought they could be probably done in the mid-August timeframe. So roughly that's 60 days.
Yeah, and then, of course, go to bids and hopefully get something moved shortly after that.
Will any of this work be done by the contractors in town, or is it going to be all town contractors?
We've worked with Dr. Patel on previous projects, the Spring Hill Suites, and I mean, I can't say he'll use 100% in-town labor, but he does tend to use local laborers. He's from the Enid area. He grew up here, went to school here, so he really finds Enid as a favorable place. But I can't tell you the percentage. But I know on the Spring Hill we did use local contractors. We also did the engineering for him on that project, and he did use some local. So. Any other questions?
Questions right now? Whitney, do you want to come up, talk about the design committee?
My name's Whitney Hall. I'm here on behalf of the Main Street Enid Design Committee. Our goal as a committee is to look at the functionality of downtown, improve walkability, improve flow, make sure that because we are a national historical district, we do want to respect the buildings we have, but recognize that there are architectural elements throughout downtown from a variety of eras. And we will see a thriving community when you mix old and new. So we don't want to hold things up saying that a new hotel can't come in, but we did express interest in wanting to meet with the developers at the beginning of the project to make sure that the hotel will flow through with the rest of downtown and be a comfortable fit. So there were several elements that we brought up. As mentioned, there is a color scheme already approved. Because this glow will be the first of its kind in the 5-state area, it is seen as kind of a benchmark for all the others. So there were several items that the brand as a whole wanted to keep. That definitely included the blue striping and some of the lighting elements. So it won't be a very bright light, but there will be some lighting throughout the structure. We requested that there be quite a bit of brick used, and particularly not EFS, if at all possible. And we are happy to say that it is predominantly brick. There's very minimal use of EFS, and where it is located, it's mostly due to the weight of the material in those cantilever type areas. As you'll see throughout the rest of downtown, some of the common design elements include being right up on the street and having a 25-foot storefront type look. That's not completely the case all across the board. You know, you have the post office and the library and some other elements. But we ask that those might be thought of with this hotel. So if you'll notice, the site itself is laid out where the hotel is right up on Main Street, and it does extend the full width of the block. They've also put much of the parking in the back, but have been working with our group and with Kevin from the event center to make sure that the back part of the parking lot will flow with the event center. And we've also seen that while there won't be that 25-foot sectional look to the front of the hotel, it does have several large components with the windows and that sort of thing, more like a 30-foot section. but it does have that nice repetition to fit with the rest of downtown. So far, they've been very responsive to us. They've met with us in person and through go-to meetings on multiple occasions, and we would like to voice our support for
I was one of the ones that raised the question about the location of the hotel on the property. Because the whole purpose of this hotel being located there is to make it an integral part of the downtown entertainment area, the convention hall and the event center. And that it appeared to me that it would be more practical to move it back closer to those facilities to make it a little easier access for them.
Well, and that's something we've gone back and forth with. Actually, when we met just last week, one of the things that was brought up is that southwest corner of the hotel. That's currently the loading zone for the convention center, and it's also where a lot of times if there's a band or some kind of major act that has tour buses, that's where they've stored all of their parking as much as possible on site. Moving that hotel back would cramp that area, and they've actually already had some tentative discussions about, since that's overflow parking for the hotel itself, just by nature being the furthest from the doors, we might be able to block off a few of those spaces to help with the use of the area for the band RVs or trucks as needed, but that would come up maybe a couple of times a year with the really large acts. We're also discussing how to best use the back end, kind of the southeast corner of the hotel. I grew up actually as a child of somebody that had a small business that toured conventions all the time, and we don't see a economically feasible way to introduce any form of sky bridge or direct link between the hotel and the event center, especially because they do want to lock down parts of the building at night or when it's not in use to reduce the number of staff persons having to oversee that everything's secure, nobody's going where they shouldn't be. But we have discussed several times that we want the parking to flow in such a way that if you have a cart or luggage or something like that where you want to walk back and forth, that would be easily facilitated. We even brought up some ideas just way early that we've seen in other cities where a hotel like this that is very closely partnered might have complimentary umbrellas that you can store in a room, have it branded, and with the understanding that that's used just back and forth between the two buildings. So I think everybody so far has been very excited about it. And when you compare this to walking from the very south end right down on Garriott from a parking perspective, the few extra feet won't be that noticeable. So, any other questions?
How far is the walk from, the entrance from the hotel to the nearest, to the convention center? So how far is it?
Well, the closest entrance will actually be back by the pool. The elevator lobby type area is actually designed to be oversized to improve the flow of patrons through the hotel down to the event center. It's the width of the parking lot. So you have 2 rows of parking right there, plus the drive between them. Traditionally, the north doors of the event center are not unlocked for just general access. So you are looking at going down towards the east side of the building or the south side. But that's something that, particularly for a convention, we could look at some options in opening controlled areas. So.
All right, thank you.
We can certainly look at options with Kevin Brisky, expecting that to be flexible. I think it's a great design, and so I'm glad that you guys like it. I think you guys approved it on Thursday. Did you approve it?
Yes. We actually made a motion as part of the committee, and Kevin from the event center is on the design committee and was present. And we did unanimously approve our support of the hotel as currently presented.
Thank you, Whitney.
Thank you.
Kelly, would you like to say anything? Main Street, downtown? Great addition, another great day in Enid.
I think Whitney said most of it, but we are so excited. There are people on our design committee that were founders of Main Street Enid in 1994, and they've been waiting decades for this to happen. And they have been vocal in the past about design issues, and they were fully on board for this design in person with the presentation that we had the other day. So that's exciting. It's exciting for a lot of people. This hotel, it means a lot with the connectivity. I mean, not physically, but on the same piece of land as the event center and convention hall, but also for the rest of our downtown retail and restaurants. It's gonna create a park once weekend or destination type of environment. And that's what people look for. One of the things they look for when they go out of town, where can I park and I don't have to drive around? I can walk everywhere I want to eat. I can walk to the arts and entertainment. And that's what this is going to create, which is going to make it a very different experience. Plus the ballpark, about 200,000 people a year attend ball games there. So we're just very excited. Any questions? No. Thanks, guys.
Lisa, I know ERDA has worked very hard with Dr. Patel to help make this happen. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. Yes, we've been involved, as you all know, in working with Dr. Patel and his team, and we've also been working with Main Street and the design committee and participated in those meetings. And we echo everything the design committee has said in way of support for the design of the hotel. I think they've really met all of the expectations and incorporated everything that we've heard from this council and from others in the past as we've worked through other hotel considerations. And in addition, just Dr. Patel and his entire team are extremely responsive and timely and have really met every obligation they've agreed to up to this point, and they've been a pleasure to work with. So we're excited as well. So.
Cheryl, would you like to give them an update from the legal perspective on where we're at on our timeline, moving towards closing, et cetera?
Sure. So I'm Cheryl Denny, and I'm a lawyer with McAfee and Taft in Oklahoma City, and we've been advising the city and the Economic Development Authority with respect to the incentives and just the process for bringing Dr. Patel's development group to the city of Enid. So Gerald asked me to talk to you guys mostly about the process. The design is wonderful. It's actually the first time that I've seen it. It looks great. To give you a little bit of background, the city approved the economic development agreement back in February, as Gerald said, and then you haven't seen me for a while. We have been working. Typically, the way that these things happen is the developer doesn't like to spend a lot of money until they know that the incentive package is set. So once you approve the incentive package in February, that kind of gave Dr. Patel the go-ahead to start spending the money on the architects and the engineers and the plans, negotiating with the flag. And so he's been very busy, and his team have been very busy on that. On our side, our team has been very busy going through the initiating processes of all the legal steps that have to happen before the city actually transfers ownership of the property to Dr. Patel's group. So we've been working on title. We got the title commitment. There are, of course, some title issues that needed to be resolved. We've been working to resolve those. We've had the surveyor out, and he's ready to issue the survey as soon as we resolve some of these title issues. We're trying to make it so that you don't have to issue the survey once. Just to save costs and make it easier. So there's a variety of things that need to happen. I think we're on target to close by the end of August, which was the original goal. We're starting weekly calls with Dr. Patel's legal group this week. We've been in contact with them intermittently throughout this process, and we're just kind of getting a more established process to get us through the next 2.5 months, developing a checklist of all the things that need to happen, both from a design and development perspective as well as from a legal perspective. So did I hit all the high points that you wanted me to hit? So I'm happy to answer any questions, but that's kind of what we've been doing.
What you're saying is we're going to close on August the 31st.
Are you asking me to give a yes/no answer? I think that we are on track to do that. I can't anticipate any things that might come up between now and then from a design
Any issues that you're
perspective,
aware of that would prevent that from happening?
not from a legal perspective.
Okay. Well, I would certainly like to see us close, at that time so that we can get this project moving along.
Yeah, and the way that we've structured the transaction is we basically don't transfer ownership of the property to Dr. Patel until he's ready to turn the dirt. So within 45 days after we close, he has to be turning dirt. And so before we transfer property to him, we will have assurances that his deal with the flag is set, that he has all the financing in place, the final plans and specs will have been presented to you again. So hopefully we close at the end of August, and within 45 days, hopefully sooner, you guys will see activity on the site.
Marvelous. I'll make a motion that we approve this
Derwin
item.
had a question.
Derwin had one question, Chris, for you, if you wouldn't mind coming back up.
First off, I'd like to say I'm excited about what's getting ready to take place. Question is, the exterior of the building is going to be brick.
Yes. Except for the aluminum panel, the blue aluminum panels will be, they're some form of aluminum panel. I can't tell you exactly what they are, but that will not be brick. The blue part won't be brick.
Reason for asking this question, anticipating the possibility of earthquakes, structurally wise.
Sure.
Will the building be able to
Sure.
sustain
yeah,
that durable?
Obviously, along with the architect, we structural engineering provided that will accommodate all the local codes and anything to do with earthquake design and all those kind of features. That's always taken into consideration. Obviously, any building, but any building at this height, structure-wise, footing-wise, and those kind of things, yeah. Yep.
I've got a question for you too, if you don't mind.
Sure.
The south part of the building there, on Grand and Independence, are there any walls or any type of anything to obstruct the view of the parking lot, or is it open to where you can see all the way through?
To the event center?
No, through from Grand to Independence. Are any walls obstructing the building or obstructing the view of the parking lot, or is it just an open viewpoint all the way?
No, it should just be open viewpoint. There'll just be parking there. There'll be sidewalks all the way around, but no walls, no structures.
Well, where the pool is juts down there on the south, right?
Yeah, the pool you
Just
won't.
encloses the pool, I would imagine.
Yeah, but you'll still be able to see the face of the hotel.
Sure, and that's true all the way around the building. There are no walls.
The only wall there is on the, let me go back.
Is on the overhang area there on the front.
This porte-cochere area here, but there's a protruding wall here, which is kind of their brand logo, and you can see it right here in front. It's got their color on it. It's got the Glow logo on it. It's just kind of a, it is tall. I think it's 6 or 7 feet tall, but it's kind of their marquee as you pull into the porte-cochere area on the site plan. That's what you'll see when you pull in and park, is that kind of that structural wall there in front that'll have their logo. And it's kind of a sign, ground sign, but it is 5 foot tall, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Cosmetically wise, is there plan for any greenery?
Yeah, there's green space around, obviously between our parking and the building. There will be landscaped green space in there, and I believe there's areas, obviously on the parking corner nodes and stuff. But I think there's plans to put landscaping between the sidewalk and the parking area, out along the street stuff. I can't speak to exactly what that is, because I don't think.
I think the design committee had made a recommendation about that too. Is that right, on some greenery or something, some shrubs and trees?
In the parking lot itself, there's several nodes, as mentioned, that do provide opportunity for small trees or other shrubbery. One of the concerns that we actually brought up during our meeting this last week was that, being Oklahoma, we're starting to get some really hot temperatures, and the live blacktop could really heat up the area. Sure. And that was brought up. They assured us that they have at least the typical, just traditional amount of landscaping in their budget, which, with how tight the lot will be, should allow for some good greenery. On the very first picture, you'll see that there is going to be sidewalk going around the property, and it looks like there may be a little bit of room between that sidewalk and the parking lot, where you might see some grass or some trees there as well. But as mentioned, that's nothing set in stone quite yet. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Any other questions?
Okay, Ron made the motion. Anybody second?
Second.
Oh, Darren second?
Second.
Okay.
Yep.
Ron made a motion, Darwin second, so let's vote. And it passes 5-0. Yay. Okay. We will adjourn to convene as Enid Public Transportation Authority. Number 17, trustees of the Enid Public Transportation Authority special meeting are present, excepting Mayor Shuey and Benazell. 18, Enid Public Transportation Authority special meeting is in order. Award a contract with RSM US LLP, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, to complete the 2016-2017 Enid Public Transportation Authority vehicle revenue mileage audit in the amount of $4,200. Aaron?
Yes, Mayor, or Commissioners, this item is to comply with regulations from the state regarding grant funding for the Transportation Authority. They get audited on the revenue miles on all the vehicles and the rides that they have recorded and have reported to the state. This is a stipulation of getting those grant funds, so I would move that we approve the contract so that we can move forward with this.
I'm assuming that all of our other functions are covered in the previous item that we approved for the budget for that.
Correct.
Audit, including the event center and all of those things.
Right, all the other funds, all of the financials of the city are covered under
Okay.
the previous item.
I'll make a motion that we approve this item.
Second.
Motion by Ron, second by Jonathan. Please vote. Motion carries 5-0. 18.2, approval of claims in the amount of $4,436.78.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jonathan, second by Derwin. Please vote. Passes 5-0. Okay, number 19, adjourn to reconvene as the Enid City Commission. Number 20, public comments, which we had Whitney signed up, and we had Lindy signed up, and they've both passed their time. Then number 21, consider convening into executive session pursuant to 25 OS Section 307B4 to discuss a pending investigation, claim, or action, and to reconvene into special session to take any necessary action.
Mayor, should we send somebody out to check on Mrs. LeBeck?
If you would like to do that, you just go right ahead.
Welfare check.
It's not like her not to be here.
Well, also, we should probably note, I think that the time of the meeting is stated wrong in the paper.
Yeah.
And so it may very well be that, I think the paper said the meeting was at 6, even though the agenda correctly stated it was at 5. So there
That's
could
probably
be,
why the paper's not here.
there could be some confusion on that end. But on the agenda that I received, it said 5. So I know the agenda is correct, but I think it may have been misprinted in the paper. Do you have a motion to move to executive session?
So motion.
Jonathan moves and George seconds. Please vote. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you for joining us for the Enid City Commission meeting. If you have any questions or comments, visit our website at enid.org.